Hey everybody, this is Reza.
This is Sandy.
Welcome back to episode 50 of the Stone Cold Sober podcast.
Want to wish everybody, or hope everybody, had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's been quite the week. I think we all got a chance to hopefully spend some quality time with our family.
Always very nice. And it's a bit sad when everyone has to go back home, part their ways, go back to an empty house.
Oh yeah. It's just nice to hopefully for some of us or for most of us be back in either our childhood home or just be somewhere with all of our families and just spend that time knowing that it's only going to get scarcer and scarcer as we get older and start spending our lives apart from each other.
Right.
How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was pretty good. So you and I got together Wednesday, right? Wednesday morning, we caught breakfast, and the tragic news is that the breakfast spot that we typically go to, Teddy's, is closed.
I didn't want to believe it when you told me.
Yeah, man. Me neither.
It's so sad. It's just kind of boarded up now, and I mean, it wasn't in the best position or location, and the prices were just too competitive to, I think, stay open without there being massive volume.
Yeah. It was every time we went in there, it's just not very many people, but the owner was a great guy, or is a great guy. I was driving by there last weekend and I saw that there was kind of like the curtains were kind of lowered. I don't but it didn't look like curtains from what I saw. It looked like kind of white paper covering up the windows, and normally they were open at those hours and they were closed. And I drove by again Monday and Tuesday, and sure enough, no cars in the parking lot. Lights are off. So it's very sad. So we caught breakfast at a different spot in our neighborhoods, and
still good.
Yeah, food's good, but it's
not the same.
It's not the same. It's a lot busier, a lot more people. Well, I guess that kind of goes with the busier, but a lot more people, and it's just you don't feel as relaxed. Maybe there's a lot of chatter. You don't feel the personal experience with like your wait staff. And you and I kind of, we're sitting at the bar in this place because it's so busy. We couldn't get like a table, so you and I are just kind of sitting there. I mean, it was good, just different than Teddy's. That's our thing.
It's just different. I mean, the place that we went to was Hank's place. It's been written up in the New York Times as a place that you should definitely check out if you're in the Brandywine area. And it's definitely got some great food, but it was nice to find a place where you and I could just take our sweet time and talk to the owner, and he'd sit down with you and he'd like shoot the breeze
for
10-15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be able to create that relationship with the owner where you're making bets on these games, and it's I mean that's one of the first things that happen, right?
Right.
He's a big Baltimore Ravens fan and I was a Charger fan, and we were both on the playoff bubble, and the first bet was if the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl, then I have to come in and he'll teach me how to cook. But it'd be fun because you're cooking on his like in his kitchen and all that.
Yeah.
And if I win, I get a free meal. And the Chargers, in true Charger fashion, decide to fall backwards and tumble in somehow.
Right.
And I definitely appreciated the gesture. He was fully intent on me eating for free. I mean, it's also like a small business, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I didn't want to not take advantage. I don't think it was about taking advantage. It was just I appreciated the gesture, and I definitely still paid him more than what the bill was. So like whatever the food was, because it was so cheap, you could just drop a 20 on the table, and you'd be like not only covering the food but tipping like what, a couple 100%.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was like, I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy that we have someone that we can have that relationship with.
Yeah.
But I think you and I, whenever we go to Hank's, we usually still get the same stuff, anyways. I did go again today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I met up with another friend, Ed.
Oh, nice.
And I actually got that mushroom omelet, and it's so good.
Yeah, I love the mushrooms, man.
The mushroom omelet, and I got it with provolone. Oh, it was funny because there was a long line outside the door, and I just kind of walk in. I'm like, excuse me, pardon me, I'm gonna put my name down, and then it looked like there was just a lot of like two seaters open. I go, hey, you got room for two? He goes, yeah, sure, come on in. I was like,
Nice,
okay. So I walk
nice.
back out through the crowd, and I go, hey Ed, we got a table. I just felt kind of weird, like I hope you guys are all like really big groups
I hope
because
so.
I didn't mean to just jump in front of like 10, 15 people, but whatever.
It is what it is, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
No, I hope not. I just walked right in. I wasn't gonna be about it. But yeah, so
Yeah,
that was our Wednesday.
yeah. So that's a Wednesday. But you asked about my Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving was good. I went over to Lena's house, and I believe this was my first year going over to her place for Thanksgiving. And like the this is our fourth Thanksgiving as a couple, I think now,
And how
third or
was it?
fourth. It was really good. Food was really good. Lots of family and friends there. Um, as usual, I always like to spend time with Lena, and for us to be able to just have a little personal time. And it doesn't work out that way on Thanksgiving, but it was still really nice. Um, and then after, they eat really early too. So they ate at 1:30
Oh,
p.m.
okay.
So it was like a Thanksgiving lunch as opposed to a dinner.
Yeah, that's what my family does.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
My family, we typically eat
we
a lot later.
okay. Yeah, we start the feasting at lunch. The parents go and play cards. The kids go and do their own thing, and
Yeah,
then it's just come as you go for the rest of the day. There's really no set dinner time. I mean, everything's still on the main kitchen island. So if you're hungry, go for it. If not, and I know the pies usually come at around nighttime, but otherwise it's just a free for all.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they eat early.
Yeah.
How's the food?
Food is really good. They
And
did not do turkey, which my family actually doesn't do either. We haven't done turkey for a while.
what
We
do you do?
just we do chicken.
Ooh, chicken could be good.
It's because chicken's just a lot easier, and I think more of us are into chicken as opposed to turkey. Like I'm not a big turkey fan. I just don't like how dry it is and everything.
Okay.
Um, so they did chicken, which was really good. Um, like baked mac and cheese, one of my favorite things in the world. um,
Oh God, when it's like crispy on top, those
yeah,
like
dude,
it's
it's
almost like burnt baked beans. Just like
just
that.
on point.
Yeah, it's like the best part of lasagna is the corner.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh God.
baked mac and cheese. Lena typically makes the mac and cheese, but someone else actually made it. Lane is better, but this was still good,
Okay.
still very good. Some cornbread, um, and by the time we finished the meals, I was full, so I did not have any dessert or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, hung out there for a little bit longer, maybe like another couple of hours, helped like clean up a little bit, and then I headed home. I can't remember exactly what time I got home, maybe 4:30, and then we my family, they had actually just finished eating, and they were going to go to my sister's place, my half sister's place. She lives like 5 or 10 minutes away from us, so we drove over there. So for Thanksgiving, my little brother came home, and then my dad, and that was it this year. So this is the smallest Thanksgiving that we've had in years.
Yeah, seems like it.
So we went over there, hung out with them. My nephews, the twins, and then my niece. She's like 8 months old now, maybe a little older than that, maybe like 9. And we hung out there for an hour or so, and then after that we came back home. And then my brother and my dad, they went to see Spectre.
Okay, what do they think?
So my dad is a massive James Bond fan. He has seen every James Bond movie like 10 times each
Oh, does
at
he have
least.
the Bond set?
I don't know if he has I'm not sure if he has the set that had like every Bond movie in it,
Yeah.
but I think we've like over the years we've gotten him a couple of sets for different birthdays or whatever it was.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually think he does own every Bond movie now. Um, but
Does he
yeah,
have a favorite Bond?
I didn't ask him that. I'm not sure what his favorite Bond movie is. That's a good question.
Okay.
I'll have to ask him sometime. But so they saw Spectre, and I was telling him some of my problem, like the things I didn't like with the movie that we talked about a week or two ago on the podcast, and he is again, like I said, a lot more well versed with Bond than I. And he was telling me, some of the characters that we thought, um, or some I don't know. He just kind of explained things to me a little better than what I understood. I mean, like the history of Spectre as an organization, going back to the original Bond movies, and then reintroducing them now. It's not as far fetched to believe that Spectre wasn't pulling the strings, but I didn't like the way they explained how Spectre was pulling the strings. Um, I think Spectre may have been mentioned in one of the previous films or a couple of the previous films. The one of the characters was in Casino Royale and Quantum. He was not in Skyfall. I'll tell you which character later on, but I didn't even know that. I didn't recognize him as being like somebody in the previous movies.
Okay.
And yeah, but it wasn't his favorite Bond movie either. He didn't like a lot of things with it as well, but there were just a lot of plot details that he recognized that I didn't recognize. Um, then yeah, he and my little brother, they watched Beast of No Nation yesterday, which I actually
Ooh.
didn't know. I have no idea what they thought of it. My little brother just told me as he was leaving the house, so I'm not sure what they thought of the movie. Well, Majub loved it, but I'm not sure what my dad thought.
Okay. Man, that's a great movie. For
Yeah, it
all of our
is.
listeners out there, it's on Netflix. Idris Elba plays this warlord in charge of nondescript African child soldier army, and it's just amazing. It's a tour de force that he puts on.
Yeah,
So you know where I stand on that movie.
yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I went to I actually was I don't really like to Black Friday shop, but I headed over to Best Buy on Friday like evening, late in the day.
Okay. When the crowds have dispersed and the carcasses are on the ground.
I was hoping that it would have dispersed, but it was still really packed.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and I ended up not buying anything. It just wasn't worth it to wait in the line. I'm not sure how long it would have taken me to get through, but they also didn't have what I wanted. I was hoping to get the Black Ops One, Black Ops Two combo pack, so I can play the Zombies game on Black Ops Two with Majib. He's a huge Zombies fan, and they were sold out. So I came home. I ordered online, so we can play it, over the Christmas and New Year's break.
That'll be good.
Yeah, and then and I ended up ordering one for you too.
And I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I owed you for breakfast. I hadn't paid you back. I
I
forgot,
totally
and
forgot about
so
that too.
yeah, so I was like, all right, well, if you're down, I'll just have it delivered to your place.
Oh my god, it's a time to wake up Big Bertha and Anastasia.
Yeah, so they're going to be announcing the December games that are backwards compatible soon. I think this week. So I'm hoping Black Ops One is on that list, so that way we can just jump right back into it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I really don't think it's going to be a game that we're going to play heavily, but I think it'd be fun to just go back every now and then and just play it.
Is that game totally broken
No,
in the console? Because I think PC it's broken.
no, it's still fun on the console. PS3 had massive issues with it at some point because I think that was the game that I think you remember when PS3 had that massive hack and the PSN was down for like a couple of weeks, and they gave PS Plus to all of their
Yes.
members. Like it was down. I want to say it was down for like a month. It may not have been a month, but it feels like it was like a month. Um, and So they gave they gave each PlayStation owner, PS3 owner, certain stuff. So they got like a PS Plus membership. I think they got a free game from a designated list to download for free, as well as a few other things. So I think the Xbox is still fun. Like I had gone back and played it, before Titanfall came out, actually, so like 2 years ago, and it worked just fine for me back then.
Okay.
So hopefully it still stands up. I mean, I can try it out later on today to see how it is, but I think it should be fine. I'm excited. I'm hoping that Black Ops 2 becomes backwards compatible as well because that was probably my favorite Call of Duty game of all time.
Oh my god. How dare you? How dare you?
Don't act like Black Ops 2 wasn't great. Like the amount of
Black
fun
Ops 2 was really good.
the amount of fun that we had during that game. I mean, Black Ops 1 was fantastic as well.
Black Ops 1 is what brought us together.
They're both great games. but I think I preferred Black Ops 2. I mean, that's not again not to say that Black Ops 1 wasn't bad. I just think I preferred Black Ops 2 overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's because of the challenge system. Black Ops 1 didn't encourage you to do challenges because you didn't unlock like the titles or emblems. So once we hit max prestige, there was nothing more to do. So the only reason why we played that game in the closing months was because you and I had nothing else to play, so we would just log on together and play. But we never played by ourselves after that.
Yeah. So you didn't really. So besides the games,
Yes.
that was pretty much it for you for Black Friday.
Well, I got a Chromecast yesterday
Oh.
from Target. Um, I got it. So despite the fact that the Xbox is kind of like a media hub and can be, you can get tons of apps on it.
Hmm.
Um, I thought it'd be nice to have the Chromecast to just keep my Xbox off, stay disconnected from Xbox Live, because anytime I want to like watch Netflix or movies or something, or Lane is over, I might get an invite or two, and I'd just rather not be on Xbox Live for that to happen.
I hear you.
And then you can also do a little bit more with the Chromecast. I think you know how I like, got to stream my Colts games from random websites because I'm not local. I believe you can use the Chromecast to get that on your TV. So I'm gonna be trying to set that up sometime soon.
That sounds great. I
Um,
know that some of those were going on sale.
yeah,
I don't think I picked one up.
yeah.
In fact, I know I didn't pick one up.
And then the other thing I bought was a Christmas gift for Lena. I can't say which one because she could listen to this, and I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Elena, cover your ears. That's just how it works. She
but
she can't hear now.
I got her one. I got her one of her
Oh, that's
gifts.
nice.
So
That's nice.
yeah, she has no idea that I got it, but I got her one.
Uh-oh.
I
Now
mean,
you better hide it because
it's hidden. It's hidden.
it's hidden. You sure it's hidden in a smart place? She might not just uncover one day.
Positive.
Okay.
Unless she goes looking for it specifically, she won't find it.
Okay.
I mean, that was really my break. I mean, otherwise, I just chilled out. I did a little bit of work here and there, but nothing major. Um, good to see Majib again. We haven't hung out in like 3 months now, so good to
How's
see
he
him
doing?
again. He's doing well. Still in the med school grind. Comes home, gets to like play video games again. Because he and I used to play video games a lot back in the day, and ever since he started college, he hasn't really played much of anything other than his breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I stopped playing video games myself throughout most of college. I think I started up later in junior year. Um, and then I've been able to resume afterward after the intense grind of like the day to day of college.
Oh, sure.
But he's on that times 10 in med school, and he'd probably be like that for another however many years.
Yeah, it's always nice to get a break from all that intensity and come back and sort of let your brain turn off and
Yeah,
just
for
have
sure.
pure, sort of unadulterated fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for me. Tell me about your Thanksgiving because you had a lot going on too, right?
So I came home with my sister from New York. She ended up bringing a friend with her.
Like a guy friend.
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
She
Oh,
knows
okay.
better than that. Um, no, I mean I think that would be really inappropriate to bring a guy friend over for the first time in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So she didn't do that. It was just some friend, some girl that she knew, that she's
Okay.
close with.
Okay.
And what's interesting is I think it's always sort of been the way that my sister has been growing up. I sort of noticed this. Like if she has friends over,
Mm-hmm.
then like her friend is top priority, which I guess makes sense because you're bringing home somebody, you're trying to make sure that they have a great time.
Yeah.
But there were just a lot of moments this weekend where she'd be really cold to the family.
Hmm.
And it was kind of disappointing, because we're all home and, my parents are excited to see us
Yeah.
and to hang out with us. And now that you've brought somebody else home, it's fine because my sister gets to take around her friend and show her where she grew up and all these cool restaurants. And, Westchester definitely, where we grew up, definitely has some cool things to show and to share.
Right.
It was just tough because she'd be really short with people. Her new favorite phrase was, "Will you relax?" And it's like, I'm totally am relaxed, but the fact that you're saying this right now is making me go
Not
from 0
relax.
to 100 real quick.
It's a very dismissive statement.
It's incredibly dismissive, and my family, so me, my mom, my dad, do not respond well to that
Yeah,
kind of treatment.
yeah.
Um, and for the it started early too. It was just we were there. We got home Tuesday night, and then Wednesday we were there, and my mom and my sister was just sort of gone all day, and would almost forget to tell my mom like where she was, kind
Oh
of
wow.
forgetting that she's at home, and if she has plans, she has to let my family know so they can plan around whether or
Right.
not like we're cooking, we're going out. Do we wait for you? Do we not? So I mean that's whatever. But then there's gonna be like when Thanksgiving, like when the day of Thanksgiving, we had another really close friend, the Shoes,
Oh yeah.
come over, and both James and Perry came over. And shout out to James for listening to the podcast.
What's up,
Um,
James? I haven't
yeah,
talked to James in a long time.
actually, James got into a terrible car accident recently.
Oh wow.
Not his fault. Some crazy dum dum of a driver sort of like swerved into his lane.
Uh huh.
It was like a busy intersection, and it was sort of backed up on the opposite side. So this guy comes
Jesus, man.
flying through in a Mercedes to try and like zipper into the opposite lane to like basically, I don't know if it was like like overturning on the left side when you're making a left hand turn
Uh huh.
or one of those, but he just hit James straight on.
Jesus, dude.
So James is limping right now, but I know he's in physical therapy, and the hopes of I guess not this podcast, but me and you really are hoping that he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate to see that because he walked in and he was limping, and I was like, James, what happened? A really good family friend that I've grown up with
Right.
for the past 15 years. Our families have always been super close, and I know our parents spend almost every Friday or Saturday night playing cards together for the past couple years.
Yeah.
So it's just really close, and it was just really tragic to see that he had that happened to him. So we definitely wish you, James, a speedy recovery.
Yeah, for sure. Glad to hear that he's at least, okay or mostly okay.
Yeah. And so we played some Monopoly, which is great. Actually, I went out with James to pick up on Thanksgiving. We went to a Target, and we actually did pick up a few board games. So we picked up a like 80th anniversary Monopoly, which was awesome because it's like super like minimalist designed, which I'm a big fan of. Like new typeface, new property cards, new pieces, like a piece from every decade. Awesome
Yeah.
looking board. Like the typeface on the board looks like all that stuff from not Fallout but BioShock,
Okay.
like that really old school looking thing. And then we also
Yeah.
bought like a new Settlers of Catan that had like updated like super intricate art, which was awesome. Settlers is $50. I did not
Really?
know that. I know that I got it on Amazon when there was a massive sale.
Yeah.
I know that because the Monopoly was only $50. But that was crazy. So like we're coming to the end of the night, and then they leave. My sister is shopping. Her friend is shopping, and I'm sort of just looking at deals. And then my sister starts to pass out on the couch. She's like literally like faced inside the couch sleeping. And I sort of said to her like, "Hey, if you want to go to bed, definitely just go upstairs."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Will you relax? I'm comfortable right here." And I go, like I didn't want to say nothing because her friend's right there, but I was like, you can't come at me with that kind of attitude,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna say nothing to you in front of your friends. You basically have like plot armor right now. Like I can't say nothing to you right now because I'm not gonna call you out in front of your friend. And then my sister bought my mom a bag, some purse from Bloomingdale's. And my mom was really happy when it came. And when the bag showed up in shipping, there was like a mark on it,
Yeah.
So it's like my mom doesn't want to use it. There's a mark in the leather. That kind of is disappointing. So because my sister bought it with her card and everything, my mom was like, "Hey, do you mind returning the bag at King of Prussia? Show your friend King of Prussia Mall and all this stuff. Like, it'll be a great thing,
Right.
and you can help me run this errand." My sister goes, "Oh, are you sure you really want me to do that?" And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, I really do want you to do that. I'd really appreciate it if you did." And then she goes, "I don't think that marks a big deal." And it's like, if you looked at this bag, Reza, it'd be really clear. Like, there is an indent in this bag. You can't not see it.
Hmm.
My mom goes, "Julia, I would really appreciate it if you went." And she goes, "Well, I'm doing homework right now. I can't go." And it's like, so you wait. And this was last night. So it's like you've had 3 days, 4 days. You've been like hanging out every day. And now you decide to use homework as an excuse. It's just, I understand that my sister was trying to show her friend as good a time as possible.
Yeah.
But a lot of that hospitality that you show is predicated on you using your family's home, your family's cooking, my parents taking them out to 2 meals. That's also part of it, right? And I think
Yeah.
it's just sometimes we lose sight of how much our parents actually are covering for us in terms of when they're housing us. They're happy to do it, but that's because we're family. Now that you've introduced somebody else into the equation, it's like now I'm a host. And now I have to make sure that you always have something to eat, something to drink. There's always something there. And
Right.
that can be really stressful around Thanksgiving time when they're cooking for everyone. And, my parents are people too, and they're getting old, and they're getting a little, they get exhausted faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I made the mistake this morning of kind of confronting her a little bit too boldly. It was early in the morning. It was just me, my mom, my dad, and her. And she came down and I go, "Listen, we got to talk about how you've treated us this weekend." And she goes, "Well, what do you want me to do about it now?"
Wow.
And my parents knew that I was about to say something really inappropriate. Because if it's just me and my family, and you've basically disrespected me multiple times, my parents multiple times, it's like my leash is very short now,
Right.
my temper is very short. But my mom says, "Oh, talk about it when you guys are back in New York." My dad's like, "Ah, it's not that big a deal." And then I know my sister and I were very distant to each other on our way to the bus. And I know we got nicer. We got nicer to each other when we were standing in line, because I could sort of talk to her friend, and like we were able to have a conversation then. And I basically had to send her a text, and I'll read it now, because I didn't mean to I kind of did, but at the same time I knew that my sister wouldn't respond well to me calling her out on stuff.
Hmm.
And I don't know if most people would, but I know that with me, if you're going to call me out on something, then we're going to have a conversation about it.
Right.
But, some people don't react well to that kind of stuff. Most people, go super defensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is totally understandable. So I said to her, I go, "Liz, I'm sorry about ambushing you in the kitchen this morning. That wasn't my intention. It just felt like you were cold to me, mom, and dad a few times this weekend, and wanted to make sure everything was okay. I wasn't trying to attack you in any way. Just wanted to make sure you and everything was okay." She goes, "Hey, no, I understand. There are some things going on that I've been dealing with, but everything is fine. I just focused my attention on making sure her friend was having a good time. I'm sorry if I was cold at times. Really wasn't on purpose." I go, "I got you. Might help to send a text to mom saying something along the same lines. She was exhausted putting this weekend together, and I think it would go a long way." That hospitality bit that you're trying to convey to your friends stretched up to them as well, my parents. So I know they would definitely appreciate the acknowledgement.
Yeah, for
And she
sure.
goes, "Will do," and sure thing. So, I was having this big conversation with my mom when I drove her to the mall, because my mom was like super frustrated. My mom's like, "This is what happens when your sister brings people home. She always treats us like this. She forgets that, family is family." And I go, "Well, maybe she's actually dealing with something
Yeah.
that she's just not telling us right now." And she goes, it's still not an excuse. And it isn't. I think as we get older, we start to realize what is allowed and not allowed. Not the
Right.
whole bringing friends home or whatever, but how you treat people.
Right.
I know that when I was younger that, I would definitely be short with my folks, and sort of, you always look back on your younger self, like, oh my god, I can't believe I was that naive, or that sort of young and dumb. You look
Yeah.
back on it, like you would never think that you would do it nowadays. And I think she's just going through those same growing pains.
Hmm.
Because I know that if I hadn't sent her these texts, then my family would definitely put the kibosh on any sort of bringing people back next time. You know,
Yeah.
uh, and so I'm glad that we were able to sort of put that to bed. And it wasn't. I mean, looking back, it's not a big deal. But it's just when the family isn't together too often,
Hmm.
and then you have sort of this really negative energy around people where there's that coldness within family around the holidays. That's just really disappointing.
For sure.
So I hopefully this is all behind us. But that was just really that's something that I was talking to my mom about a lot. Like, how do you deal with me or with my sister when we're doing something that you really don't like?
Yeah.
And she goes, it's just like you have to realize that family is like love before everything, and will always support you. But sometimes you just got to realize that we live longer than you. There's still lessons that we can teach you. It's a matter of understanding how you're going to accept and sort of like through osmosis, right? Like hear us the most
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
And I know with the way I was raised and the way my parents and I have sort of we've gotten a lot closer over the years. We've always been very direct with each other. That's just how I respond well. You can't beat around the bush with me. I get really frustrated. Like, what are you trying to say? Why are we wasting time with these euphemisms and all this stuff? Can you just let me know what you're actually thinking?
Right.
And with my sister, you just have to sort of be a little bit soft. Like, there needs to be a more delicate delivery, because my sister is a tough person, or maybe she thinks she's tough, but if you call her out on something, then she tends to go nuclear option, like double down
Yeah. Yeah.
on, oh, if you're going to say this about me, then I'm going to call you out on something. It's like, it's not necessary to do that. I think that it takes a certain level of maturity to talk about certain things. It's like when you're in a relationship and you get in a fight, right? Like,
Right.
you can talk about, like, oh, well, if we're talking about this, then I'm not going to bring up the thing that happened a week ago. Well, then I'm going to bring up this thing 2 weeks ago. And then, you just realize that's not healthy for anybody.
Absolutely.
You just try and focus on the one thing. And if it was big enough, you'd hopefully be, trusting enough to bring it up, and it wouldn't be a big deal. Like, you'd be able to work through it. But I know that in the past, sometimes we've gone nuclear, and it's just like the older you get, the harder it is to come back from that.
Yeah.
And it's just not necessary. So I know that with her, sometimes you got to be a little bit more delicate in how you approach things. And I'm learning that, is what is more important, the message that you're trying to get across or the delivery. And I'm trying to figure out if one is more important than the other, if you need both, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was definitely a huge learning experience and growth for me to be able to understand that, we're all getting older, especially this nuclear family that I'm a member of.
Yeah.
That we're all going to be getting older, and we're all going to be like away from each other more. And when you spend this time with each other, that you try and make it as warm as possible. It is nothing but love within the family.
Absolutely.
But my sister said that she was definitely dealing with stuff, and her attention was elsewhere, which is fine, which happens to all of us. It's just there are going to be casualties when you deal with people like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, otherwise, it was a great Thanksgiving. It was great to see family, great to see you, great to see some other really close friends of mine who I don't get to see too often. I got to see my friend Pramiti. She's on her way to India right now. She's recently and happily engaged. I only got to see her for, like, no joke, like 25 minutes. But
wow.
It was still nice to see somebody in person.
Yeah.
In terms of Black Friday shopping, I think I did a little bit more than you. I bought one of those, like, wireless chargers from Anchor.
Right. Yeah.
That like 20,000 AMH. What's the official term for AMH? Do you know?
Milliamp hours.
Milliamp, yeah. For like 20, it was like marked down 75%. And normally it's for 100, it got it for like 25.
Yeah.
What was interesting was today they were selling one like a 30,000 one, but it was like $120. So I was like, all right, well, I don't think it's necessary then at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Those are really, really, really important to have. I think. I had one. It was what I literally have it sitting right here. It was 6,000 milliamp hours, and it fits pretty nicely into my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You charge your phone on the go, and ended up breaking when I was in England. So I bought a new one, which I think is like 12,000.
Okay.
And I was able to find, I found a coupon deal for Lena and my brother, actually my oldest brother Muhammad. Before mine broke, they were able to get one that was like 12,000 milliamp hours this summer for like $13. I got one about a month or two ago for like $15, and then you sent me the one that you got, and I was like, geez, they just keep coming down in price. I can't even remember how much you said it was, but they just keep dropping the price down on them, and they're really nice to have. But there is a bit of a trade-off because they just become a lot more massive the bigger they get, and whether
Yeah.
you want to keep it in your pocket, like it depends on how you want to use it. Sometimes you want to just be able to walk around the city or something like that and just have it on you. Other times you're at the airport and you're able to just sit it down on the table. So it depends on your needs, but I think it's something that a lot of people should have because these phone batteries don't even last a full day, or they last like a full day if you moderately use it. And if you're using it a lot, if you're listening to music a lot, or you're like using it for navigation or whatever it is that you're doing, you might need to recharge during the day when you can't sit down and plug it into a wall somewhere.
Right. And because of my upcoming trip to Scotland for work,
Hmm.
I figured it'd be nice to have it because it says that it can charge an iPhone like 6 times, like
Yeah,
a full charge 6 times. So it'll just be nice to have if I'm ever stuck somewhere that I always have a fully charged phone.
yeah, absolutely. I will say heads up, it's going to take a long time for the charger itself to fully charge.
Okay.
Just because it's so massive, it'll take
Yeah.
like I don't know however many hours for it to fully charge. You'll have to keep it plugged in for quite a while though.
Okay. I know it comes tomorrow
Yeah,
or Tuesday, so hopefully I get a chance to actually get a full charge in before I fly out.
yeah, and I mean, a worst case scenario, it should have at least some charge on it
Yeah.
before. So
What else did I buy? I bought The Last of Us remastered, the
yeah,
video game, for what was it, $20? Something like that. I know that there were deals before for like $10, but I was like, you know what? I'll just get it today.
yeah.
And that just came 2 days ago. So I inputted the code online, then I slowly let it download. So I came home to a PlayStation that had everything on it.
Hmm.
I also bought Rocket League. It was $20 marked down to like $13.99, and then because it was like 30% off, and then
Hmm.
I also there was a 10% off deal that on any like digital purchase.
Oh, really?
So I got it for like 12 something. It
Awesome.
did take a long time to because the I know PSN was down for most of the weekend, which kind of sucks because everyone was buying like new PlayStations.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a really weird, excuse me, emphasis. PlayStations and Xboxes, but I finally got it. So I have Rocket League up. I have The Last of Us. I have a year like PlayStation like Plus membership coming soon. So I'm gonna be on Rocket League. I know James, my friend James, that we just brought up. He bought a PlayStation as well, and he's gonna hopefully play Rocket League with me. It'll just be nice. And I know you have it on the computer, right?
Yes.
So maybe we'll all get together
Yeah, that'd be
and
awesome.
just
I'm
mess
not sure
around.
how the cross-platform works. Like if we can intentionally party up, or if we can chat with each other. But it'll be if we can, even if we can't, even if we can play together but can't chat together, we can always just call each other up on Skype or something and make it work.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I bought also PlayStation TV. So that came, but like I guess I got the timing all wrong. I have the unit. It comes with an HDMI cord. It comes with an AC power cord. Um, but I didn't have like a an Ethernet cable to test it, so I'll have to bring that back the next time I'm home. I also
Oh,
bought an additional controller, a PS4 controller, that I'm just gonna keep in the box once it comes to my New
yeah,
York apartment on Tuesday, and then just bring that as a clean like piece of hardware when I go home for Christmas, and just leave a controller there. So
right.
I technically now have a PlayStation 4 at home,
Yeah,
which is
that's awesome.
nice. What else did I get? I think that was kind of it. I did pay off a ton of credit cards a little prematurely, which sucks because I tend to try and like hold on for as long as I can before I pay, just to have the like time value of money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just paid off a couple of credit cards knowing that I wasn't going to be using them for the time being, and so I just kind of paid off the balances there. That always feels nice for me.
Hmm.
And I'm waiting for my final American Express paycheck because they have to mail it. So I will be on the lookout for that. I think
Okay.
that's really about it. I came home. I know my roommate is traveling for business, and he did clean the apartment, which I really appreciate.
Nice.
I know he had a nice little Friendsgiving here. The way I know is because, well, not only did he tell me, but I confirmed it when I wanted to play Spotify
Yeah.
when I was driving, and then it said that it was being played on my PlayStation 4, and I was like, oh, that's right. You can only have
Yeah.
one instance of Spotify going at a time.
Yeah.
And they had like some party mix. I was like, I'm not gonna just like shut off their music. Like that'd be really
Hmm.
rude. So I just turned on the radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the Thanksgiving for me. I mean, it was overall a lot of fun. Great food. Got to hang out with you guys. It's always nice.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything that you're playing right now?
Um, so I'm still going strong on Fallout.
Okay.
I'm thinking of starting up a file in Borderlands 2,
Uh oh.
maybe tonight. Um, and let's see. Oh, I forgot. I also got Dark Souls 2. I haven't even finished Dark Souls 1. It was a Games with Gold game on the 360 a long time ago, like a year ago, and I never got to finish it. Like I barely made it anywhere in the game, like an hour into the game. Um, but I'm a big fan of games like that. So I got Dark Souls 2 because it was on sale, and I had a $15 gift card to at Best Buy, so I actually ended up getting it for free. But I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to start up Dark Souls, so then I can proceed to play Dark Souls 2. But yeah, tonight looks like it's a balance between Fallout and then potentially Borderlands at some
Okay.
point. Borderlands is I'll be playing it because I have a couple of friends who want to start up a new file in the game, so I figure I'd jump right into that one.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I am finishing up Tomb Raider.
yeah.
I am like 90+% complete. I have 100%
Wow.
in almost every area except for one, which might be a little buggy because I have like a couple of relic pieces that I gotta find.
Hmm.
I don't. They have like this time attack, score attack, where you replay levels with different amplifiers or modifiers, and you got to play those a couple of times to get 100% on this game.
Yeah.
And it'll just be whether up to me whether or not I want 100% this game. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna want to do it. I know I'll definitely want 100% the story, but till it's sort of like playing like multiplayer aspects of it and like requiring all of this extra unnecessary work. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not about that. So,
Gotcha.
um, I might try and play some Madden with my friend Rob. It's just been a long time since we played Madden, and I miss it dearly.
I know you do.
Oh my god, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. I know that the next game that I'll be playing is like I said, The Last of Us, and I will definitely look to platinum that game.
Okay.
But I wanted to say that two things. Um, I came home today and I picked up the mail and I got a handwritten card from my new team at FanDuel.
Oh,
They
really?
just like everyone wrote a little card and
That's really
it
nice.
was like, "Hey, welcome to the team. We're really excited to have you." Like all this stuff. It was a really nice touch of them to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that was really nice. I put it on the fridge. And the second thing was when I came home, my parents were like, "Man, you're really skinny." I go, "What?" I go, "Nah, no way." Um, and I got on the scale and I was 144. I was like, this is my high school weight.
Yeah, you did what Bill Burr was trying to do.
Yeah, my high school weight was like 140 to 148.
Nice.
And what was interesting was I obviously just gorged myself. I also pulled a Bill Burr and just absolutely gorged myself.
Yeah,
And I'm now up to like 148. I was like, oh, which is not the worst because I did yoga one night. My mom was watching me do yoga. She goes, I want to see what this yoga nonsense is.
hmm,
And I did the P90X yoga and it was like really intense. And I went running in like this like outdoor trail. I did 2.5 miles one day and then did like 3.5 miles the next. So I definitely did get some exercise in,
that's good.
which is nice because I packed really light. Like I took a lot of stuff home, and the only thing that I packed was like workout gear, and I'm definitely happy that I used it.
Yeah, that's very good.
So, um, so yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll keep it short this week.
Yeah.
We hit the big 50. That's really exciting. Um, oh, do we want to talk about the questions?
I literally just remembered I was about to remind you of that as well. Um, yeah, I mean we can bring them up real quick.
Cool. So we are looking to have some of our friends become guests of the podcast. And what I ended up doing was coming up with a short list of questions that I think might work. And we'll definitely I'll go through it right now and see if you guys are about it. Meanwhile, Jimmy Graham looks like he's down on the count, down for the count.
Mm,
Uh,
close game.
Yeah, he goes, we'll introduce people as they come, and the 10 questions that I have are, what is your name and what do you do? Kind of get people going, and then what is something about your job that you love, something that drives or inspires you to do a good job?
Hmm.
Um, Transition into what do you think is your strongest personal quality? Has it always been the case, or have you need to work on it to get it to where it is? What do you feel most proud of? What do you most admire in life? What is a skill you'd like to learn and why? What have you always wanted? Did you ever get it? What are you most afraid of? How would your friends describe you? And if you could only keep 5 possessions, what would they be? I'm interested to think maybe I switch up the what are you most afraid of to what is your biggest motivation in life?
Okay. Yeah, that can be interesting.
Yeah, like what are you motivated by? Like
Yeah.
what's the strongest source of motivation in your life?
Yeah.
'Cause I think the what are you afraid of comes it does come sort of from left field a little bit. So let me just quickly change that. What instead of what are you most afraid of? What is your strongest source of motivation in life?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll start to reach out. You can reach out to people too, and then we can send this questionnaire out, and then I think it'll be nice to start bringing in people because I know that you have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of friends that are doing interesting things with their life,
Yeah.
and it would just be nice to get different outlooks on everyone in their 20s and what everyone's up to, and it'll be nice to sort of create that new dialogue that we can share with our listeners.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think then now it's really it. Now I'm definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel.
All right. Well, yeah, yeah, it sounds good. And again, yeah, just whether you feel you want to comment on, in our comment section to let us know what you think of the questions, or just again tell us personally. But we're looking forward to getting some feedback on those questions and what you think of them. And if you're interested in being a guest, hit us up.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. Well, I'm Reza.
I'm Sandy.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week.